Picture this, a majestic journey of self-discovery, growth, and healing. Welcome to What the Podcast, where I invite you to witness the incredible power of personal transformation. Join me as we delve into the depths of our inner landscapes, unlocking the secrets to healing and unleashing our true potential. Together, we'll embrace resilience. Get ready to witness the magic of self-healing as it unfolds. Welcome back to another week on What the Podcast. If you're new here, my name is Iman Anders, your new best friend. I'm here to serve through my knowledge of the self-help journey. This episode is a little bit of a meditation, and I want you to fully focus on every single word I'm going to tell you. This is probably going to be the shortest podcast, but the reason why I'm doing it this week is because I promised you an extension of the self-worth episode that we had last week. The reason why I'm doing this as a short meditation is just to kind of conceal the episode of last week. So I want you to sit back wherever you are, whether you're alone, whether you're with someone, or whether you are in a crowd of people. Or if you're in a crowd of people, I wouldn't suggest you take a second to walk away, but find the time when you are alone to do this mantra, because it's something I've done every day for the past week. I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself in the next year. Place your hand across your chest and really feel this and say, "Hey you, I'm proud of you. Dear self, everything changes this year. Let's make a commitment right now. Dear self, when I leave this podcast, my life will never be the same. No more hoping, no more wishing. I will be the change. Dear self, no more playing it small, no more half-ass effort. I'm dedicated to giving it my all. Dear self, no more waiting. It's time to start creating. The time is now to make the world respect my greatness. Dear self, down with regrets. It's something my life can't afford. So from this day forward, I'm choosing the suffering that leads to my rewards. From this day forth, I'm picking the pain that leads to my better life. And from this day forward, no more running from my fears. I'm bringing faith to this fight. Dear self, unapologetically, I'ma get the life that's made for me. I'm keeping up because I will be the hero of my story. Dear self, it's time to go and live your truth. Dear self, remember it all starts with you. You yourself. Dear self, I love you. Dear self, I absolutely love you. Keep that commitment to yourself. You got a you inside of you that you haven't even met yet. And that you is the greatest you that is dying for you to take action. That you is dying for you to walk into you and know what is made for you. That you is dying to answer that call that's been calling you. I want you to open your eyes. So this mantra that I stumbled across last week really changed the way that I looked at things. I joined a 5-day course with the likes of Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Trent Shelton, Jay Shetty, and to name a few. And this really changed the way that I looked at life and the way that I looked at things. And it was so fitting that I joined this podcast at the time when it was everything that I needed. And the beauty of this was I have a journal. And in my journal, it says, write a letter to your future self. And since I got this journal, it has been completely blank on that page. I mean, I wrote a letter to my younger self, and that was, that was easy. But writing a letter to my future self, I felt like I was filled with so many regrets that I just needed to fix. And not realizing that those regrets aren't really regrets, but they are lessons. And on day 4 of this course, Trent Shelton came on and he gave us this meditation. And since then, this meditation has made me want to be a higher and better version of myself more now than I was a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. And that is part of the self-help journey. Like, you will come to meet things that can shift your mind in an instant. But the question is your mind willing to make that shift at that time? So here's the thing. I'm not here to force you to come into my journey, because it took me probably 20 years to get to where I am right now. I was, like I said in the previous episode, I was full of questionable doubt about myself. I was going through the most. I didn't know how to navigate my feelings. I didn't know when it was appropriate to say inappropriate things or appropriate things. I used to word vomit bullshit all the time. And it took me a solid 3 years ago to come to the party and be like, okay, cool, you need to start making a change. And I mean, 3 years ago wasn't yesterday. It was a while back, 2 years ago. And some people take years to come to the party, and some people can take 6 months, some people can take a year, some people take 2, some people take 3, and some people genuinely take forever. But your path and your growth doesn't determine how fast you get there, because everybody goes through this shit differently. So there's no race to get to the end. There's no race. It's not a race where you're saying, okay, tag, or you're running into someone and you're like, I'm there before you. Everyone goes through this process on their own pace. So when people say things like, oh my gosh, he's driving at glacial pace, he's there because it's his time to be there. We can't force someone to be on our journey. But what I'm hoping to achieve with this podcast is to kind of just open you guys up to knowing that absolutely nothing is unchangeable. You can change your path in a split second, but it takes effort. It takes so much effort. There's so many times where I need to stop myself from wanting to driving in front of a taxi, for example, and they are driving recklessly, or they just like squeeze in front of you. It takes so much out of you not to shout, you must. But yeah, it takes so much out of you. And I've actually thoroughly observed myself when it comes to that, because I trip on almost everything. If I walk into my place and there's glasses on the table and it looks like a hot mess, I'm like, my brain automatically goes into a war zone, and I'm like, no, I wasn't raised like this. This can't be like this. But what I had to realize is that other people are not where you are at, and that is okay. If that mess on that table is disturbing your peace, go and pick it up. Clean it so that your peace is not disturbed. So to conclude this episode, this very, very short episode, the focus that I want you to take away from today is the mantra. The mantra will change your life. Also, I'm going to attach a link of this 5-day course to this podcast. And I would like for you guys to take the time to watch it. I mean, it's 4 hours every night, 4 to 3 hours every night. And luckily for me, it aired at 8 o'clock in the evening in South African time. So it was the perfect nightcap for me. But try to set aside that 4 hours a day for 5 days. And we can chat about that after you've watched it. But trust me, it is going to change your life for the better. So thank you for listening to this episode. And next week, we'll be back with a little surprise. I'm not going to tell you what the episode's about, but it's going to be exciting. It's going to be something that you're going to probably be speaking about for months on end, but it's a revelation. Trust me, it's a revelation. I'm having so many epiphanies and revelations, but this revelation is definitely going to get you. So yeah, be safe, take care, and we'll be back next week for our 6th episode of What the Podcast.